Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Uncle Mad here live. NFL Week 1 Sunday. A new season has dawned. We can pretend for at least one day that the Titans back. They're going to be good. It's going to be a solid season. It's not going to be heartbreaking and soul crushing and an escape from this stuff back here, the Nashville SC travesty we've been dealing with for the last few months. But it's the best time of year. It's fall has fallen outside. It feels a little cooler. It feels a little nice. I think we're going to be back in the 90s next week here in Nashville, though. So another false fall. We get a few of these a year, but it's that day. The season's starting. We can tell ourselves this is the year. This is the year. The Titans turn it around. Things are good. We've got our quarterback. We've made all these new signings. We've got a new progressive head coach. Things are going to be better. We've got till at least 12:30 today to be able to tell ourselves that, because within 30 minutes of kickoff today, we'll pretty quickly know what's up. The Titans today are traveling to Chicago to take on the Chicago Bears and number 1 overall draft pick, new boy hot on the streets. I don't know what I'm talking about here. That was kind of weird. Caleb Williams, first overall draft pick out of USC. Sparking a lot of hope, giving the Chicago Bears a lot of faith, a lot of belief that their team is going to, turn the corner and be good. Same as I'm saying with us with the Titans. Everybody's got that little bit of belief, that little extra hope today. Man, I gotta say, I'm having some big FOMO today, seeing a lot of Titans Twitter, people posting videos that are up in Chicago, getting ready for the game up there. Said it on last week's live stream. Would have loved to have gone to this game. I mean, Chicago, I've been there once, loved my time there. It was a great city, great experience, especially getting to go there early in the season when it's not as cold and frigid as it will be later this season. Would have been a great opportunity. Just stars didn't line for me. So shout out everybody that's up there supporting the Titans, supporting the team, enjoying the city of Chicago. Hopefully it works out well for us there, because I know away days are always a lot more fun when you get to travel home with the W. Looking at the game a little bit, it's a weird one, because both teams are very much in transition, a lot of change for both sides. Obviously, Titans brought in basically an entirely new coaching staff. Brian Callahan gets his debut as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. A lot of new faces, both on both sides of the ball. We've brought in almost an entirely new defense. I mean, like, you look up some of the stats of how much this roster turned over in one offseason. It's pretty crazy. The Bears, similarly, though, they've, brought in Keenan Allen. Obviously, we mentioned Caleb Williams, the first overall draft pick. A lot of new faces, a lot of new things there. They got Montez Sweat about halfway through the season last year. Is Devondre Sweat related to Montez Sweat? Is that a thing? Sweat doesn't feel like that common of a last name. I don't know. Probably not. I feel like that would have come up in, like, think pieces this week if they were actually related, but that's kind of weird. But it seems like, there's a heavy emphasis on the Bears. A lot of people like them as like a dark horse this season to even make the playoffs, to be, good. I mean, they were 7-10 last year, so they were definitely kind of better than you would expect them to be. They actually only had the number 1 overall pick because Carolina botched so badly trading away picks to get Bryce Young the year before. But yeah, they're a 4.5-point favorite, I believe, in this game. A lot of pundits, a lot of, media seem to like them a lot for this season, but I kind of think, and I'm not opposed to that. I think Caleb Williams, has a chance to be really good, really special. I mean, I've liked what I've seen out of him. I mean, rookie first start, I think that's where the Titans can really, maybe have a chance in this game. All indications are the defense under new defensive coordinator Denard Wilson is going to be very attack heavy. They're going to go after teams. They're going to blitz. They're going to press at the line of scrimmage and coverage. A lot of things that make you think, if you're coming for a rookie quarterback, you can get to them, you can get in his head, you can show him things he's not ready to see and kind of disrupt him and make things, a little bit more chaotic than he wants them to be. Pass rush is definitely a big question for the Titans. Harold Landry, Arden Key. Arden Key ended up not getting suspended. There were rumors during the preseason that he was going to face like a suspension for failing a drug test or a performance enhancing substance test, but apparently that, never came of anything. So we got him, but neither one of those guys is particularly like a high level elite, top tier pass rusher, but both pretty solid. So, if they can get to Caleb Williams, if the coverage can hold up with, a Woozy, Sneed, who came over from the Chiefs, and Roger McCurry, who's been a solid nickel corner for us for the last few years. We're missing Jamal Adams, Blitz Boy, as he has been named in the past. He's out injured, shock of all shocks. But we just do have Quandre Diggs. We still got Amani Hooker kind of back there in the safety region for the team. So I like our defense. I like our defense against a rookie quarterback today. I think there's some good matchups there. Obviously, they've got DJ Moore. They've got Keenan Allen, some dangerous threats in the passing game. Cole Kmet, their tight end. There are weapons there. They're definitely going to have threats. They're definitely going to have weapons there. But I like the matchup. I like our kind of aggressive attacking defense against a rookie quarterback. I think, based on what we saw in preseason, based on what I've seen Brian Callahan say, I think he's going to have a pretty good game plan to not, over stress what they're going to ask Will Levis to do. I think we're going to be more run heavy than maybe people expect because, a lot of people say, oh, they got rid of Variable, they got rid of Derrick Henry. This is going to be a new, they're not going to be the old Titans of old, the Titans of old. But I do think we're going to be a little bit more, especially like early on where we're kind of easing into the new scheme, the new offense, a little more run heavy. We've got Tajay Spears. We've got, I almost said, what's his name? Tony Pollard. I was trying to say Tyler Boyd. Got, Tony Pollard, two really solid, versatile running backs that you can do a lot with. I think we're going to be heavy on the screen game. I think we're going to be heavy on the run game. Try to control the game. Try to, smart, efficient plays. Nothing crazy. Like, I'm really excited to see if we've got some stuff drawn up, schemed up to actually get receivers open. If you go back to some of the stuff of the last few years, one of the things I hated about watching this team, one of the things I thought was our biggest issue was receivers were just never open for the Titans over the last 2-3 years. Even go back to when we had AJ Brown, maybe the most talented wide receiver we've ever had. You go back to his biggest plays, his biggest catches as a Titan, he always had defensive backs still draped all over him, and he was just making crazy catches. And I think that's a scheme thing. If you got somebody that's as talented as AJ Brown and he's never fully open, something you're not doing right in the scheme to create situations where receivers can get open. And I'm hoping to see that in this new Brian Callahan offense. Plays designed to create opportunities to get receivers open. There was a game, I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the Packers-Eagles game Friday night. There was a play where it was just a complete busted coverage wide open. It might have been the Chiefs game too, though. I can't remember which one. One of the games, the two NFL games that have already happened this season, there was a complete busted coverage, mismatched deal where a receiver was just wide open, bomb, walked into the end zone. And I'm like, that never happens for the Titans. Teams never blow coverages. We never have players that wide open. And at a certain point in time, I, in my head, got it that it has to be a scheme thing. We're not doing the right things, or doing things to scheme players open, to cause mismatches, to cause coverage breakdowns that would have a dude wide open like that. So I'm hoping to see some of that. But I'm hoping that, I'm expecting it's going to be maybe not roll out the full deal week one, maybe a slow rollout, maybe just keep things simple, make things easy for Will Levis, where he can make smart decisions, easy decisions, try to keep it simplified. If we can get out to a lead early, if we can kind of control the game, I think this is a big time opportunity for us to steal a win that a lot of people don't think we can get. And I'm picking the Titans. Maybe it's homerism. Maybe it's, like I said, that little bit of enthusiasm, that little bit of extra excitement you get at the start of a new season. I'm taking the Titans today in this game. I think there's some good opportunities, some good matchups here. The Bears, I think they are going to have a good season. I think they're going to be solid, but I'm just thinking rookie quarterback, first start, there's going to be some growing pains there. And the other thing that kind of makes me a little, not sour, but not that high on the Bears is before things shook out to where they ended up getting Caleb Williams and signing Keenan Allen and bringing in all these other players that they brought in. I'm pretty sure most people, Bears fans, media, whoever, hated their coach, wanted him fired at the end of last season. I think Matt Eberflus was one of the coaches that everybody was like, he's got to go, get rid of him. You got to get rid of him. And he survived. They kept him. They stayed with him, which I know there were Bears fans that were not thrilled with that thought that was a mistake. And I think they brought in a new offensive coordinator, if I'm understanding correctly, that they're hoping helps there. And maybe lets Eberflus do what he's known for, which is, focusing on defense. So I don't know, that's something I've got my eye on, is that he was pretty much looked at as a failure, wanted him fired. Team decided to stick with him for at least one more season. I don't know how often coaches get that close to the hot seat, that close to being fired, and suddenly turn it around. I mean, Caleb Williams is everything he's built up to be. He can certainly save, Eberflus's job and his career, but I don't know. That's weird to me that he was so much negativity around him as a coach, and he's back, and it's almost like forgotten that didn't we hate this guy? Didn't we think this guy should be fired? I don't know. I'm taking Titans. Like I said, I think let's pull it up real quick, see what the latest, according to DraftKings, the most up-to-date information on this game. Spread, it's 4. Bears by 4. Over under 44. Bears minus 192. Moneyline Titans plus 160. If you want to go moneyline Titans, I don't ever really like to bet spread money line when it comes to Titans, because when you're betting on your team that you're already emotionally invested in, like, it's going to crush you that much more to then also lose money if they fail to win the game. I do have 2 bets on this game that I have locked in that I like. I've got the under. I think I've had that one locked in for since the week 1 lines went, because I think both the Titans and the Bears are both kind of installing essentially new offenses. So the idea that either team's going to hit the ground running, run up the score, hit a lot of points, don't think that's happening. I see this as being like a 21-17, 24-10 type of game, somewhere in that range, one way or the other. I think Titans, but I could see it flipping and Bears, I think whoever gets in front early in this game is going to have a good opportunity to really kind of take control of the game, slow things down, really keep the tempo in their favor, and kind of keep momentum in their favor. So want to get out to an early lead in this game, whichever team you're pulling for. I'm pulling for the Titans. The other bet I have in this one, and I've heard this from several people, and I kind of jumped on it, is that the Bears are going to play a lot of zone defense. And one of the biggest strengths Tyler Boyd, new signing we brought over from the Bengals, has had in his career has been as a guy who finds the space in zones. He's a zone eater, so to speak, where if he's going against zone coverage, he's going to find the spots, find the spaces, find those little openings, those little gaps in the zone, and just sit there and get catches. So his over-under, I believe, is 24.5 receiving yards. Let me look. Do I have that one here? Yes. So really 2, big plays, 2 10, 12-yard catches. He's almost there on just 2 catches. And if, the analysis there is true, if it's accurate that, he's going to be able to find the spaces in the zones, he's going to sit there and get catches, it feels like it should be, I don't want to say easy, but, 24.5 receiving yards is not that much, especially if we're going to be throwing the ball a little bit more than what you're used to in the Titans. Previously, the slot receiver, third receiver for the Titans, I would never say they're going to get more than 25 yards, because I don't even know if our top receiver would get more than 25 yards. But the new offense with where Tyler Boyd's strengths are, that felt like a good bet to me. So I've got 2 bets locked in for that game, the under and Tyler Boyd over 24.5 receiving yards, which gives us a good point to transition out of this. Like I said, I'm taking Titans. I think they're going to win the game. So I would take the +4 or money line, either one, because I think they're going to win outright. I do. But we're going to go through full NFL picks all weeks. I did this last season, semi-popular. Every game, do my official pick on the spread, and I'm actually going to lock each pick in and make a huge parlay for myself. Never hit last year. I never got every game right, but I was about 55, 60%, which is a pretty good number for, gambling. If you're a gambler, that's a pretty solid number to hit. So let's go down the schedule for week 1, and we'll go through every game. All right. I've already said Titans, taking Titans +4. That's the first one I've got on my list here. These are all DraftKings numbers. So if you're following along, not a sponsor, but if you want to be a sponsor, I don't think DraftKings is watching this, but who never knows. Patriots, Bengals. Bengals are 8-point favorites. I think people are sleeping on the Bengals this year. I mean, if Joe Burrow is back, if he's, there's been some people who think whatever the wrist injury he had last year could be something that kind of is more of a long-term slow him down type thing. I don't know about that. If he's back, if he's healthy, I think this could be a huge bounce back year for the Bengals. I think the Patriots could be one of the worst teams in the NFL, if not the worst. I'll take the Bengals and the points there, -8. It's a big number, probably. I would guess that's got to be one of the, let me look through just real quick. Is that the biggest spread of the week 1? Yep, -8. That is the biggest line we have for week 1, but I'm taking it because I think the Patriots stink. I just think they're gonna lose this game and get crushed 35-10. Like, I mean, multi-score game there. Cardinals at Bills. Bills 6.5-point favorite. Bills are a weird team because they dumped a lot of players. They kind of, reset. As long as they have Josh Allen, when you got your quarterback, you're going to be fine. You're going to be in the mix. You're going to be competing. But I don't know if they're going to hit the ground running this season with all the change and transition they had. Stephon Diggs out. A lot of players on the defensive side of the ball left Buffalo. I think Arizona is going to be better. You've got a full season of a healthy Kyler Murray, brought in Marvin Harrison Jr., who it's been kind of almost quiet, almost forgotten that he's come in. I think he's going to be huge for them this season. I think the Bills probably win, but 6.5 is a big spread there. I'm actually surprised by that number a little bit. So I'm going to take the Cardinals plus 6.5. I think they keep it closer than that. If it was +7, I'd be all over it, but for sure, like a real bet. But I'll take it at plus 6.5 as part of this pick every game. Dolphins, Jaguars. There's been a lot of hype on the Jaguars coming back this season. Everybody's like, oh, Trevor Lawrence was beat up and everything, blah, 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 blah. And everybody's excited, thinking they're going to be back and going to be neck and neck with the Texans in the AFC South. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I think they stink. I think they had people act like 2 years ago when they won the division, they were a really good team. That took the biggest collapse in borderline NFL history by the Titans for the Jaguars to even win the division 2 seasons ago. And then last year completely fell apart and did nothing down the stretch. Trevor Lawrence is really never fully been high level super elite quarterback people thought he was. I'm not buying Jaguar stock. Maybe I'm a little biased as a Titans fan, but I'm taking the Dolphins here. I think the Dolphins could honestly smoke the Jaguars in this game. It could be a bloodbath. I'm taking the Dolphins -3.5. Uh-oh. My buddy just texted me, haha, Tyreek Hill. It's weird timing as I'm talking about the Dolphins game. I may need to get an update on this. What happened with Tyreek Hill? I hope he didn't blow out his knee Oh, man. Tyreek Hill apparently got arrested on the way to the game. This is crazy. This is the fun of doing a live stream, is I'm learning this literally as I'm talking about the Dolphins game. Sitting here talking about the Dolphins game. He got arrested on his way to the game. This is going to be a Scotty Scheffler situation where they get it sorted out and he makes it to the game. This is crazy. Let me see if I can get an update here. I'm on Adam Schefter Twitter. Tyreek Hill was cited for reckless driving after being pulled over for speeding. Hill and a police officer had a verbal altercation that led to the receiver being put in handcuffs. Hill's agent, Drew Rowenhouse, said his client will play today. Okay. So it sounds like he's rested, but he's cleared. He's going to play. So sticking with the pick, sticking with the Dolphins -3.5 in that game. That's crazy. Scotty Scheffler 2.0. Texans, Colts +3. Yeah, I'm kind of the same as the Jaguars. A lot of people are really excited about the Colts again. I'm like, why? I mean, their coach, I think they did get the coaching hire right. Steichen, I think he seems like he's got something going on. It seems like he kind of was maybe what the magic behind the Eagles was 2 seasons ago, but I still don't. I'm like, Anthony Richardson I think he's going to suck. I don't think he's going to be a good quarterback. And the Texans, a lot of people's Super Bowl pick this year being a 3-point favorite. Give me the Texans right there, -3. That feels like a weird line. I don't know. Falcons, Steelers +4. Falcons, I think the Falcons are going to be like that team this year that's way overhyped. People are always crowning them, giving them the NFC South championship. Everybody's like, oh, they brought in Kirk Cousins. Oh, they got all these new weapons. They're going to be so good. New coach, it's going to be fired up. And I think they might not be that good. I think they might struggle this year. I think they might, I don't know if they won't be terrible, but there's a lot of talk about Aaron Rodgers coming back from the Achilles injury, and is he going to be able to get back to his old form? And nobody's really saying that same thing about Kirk Cousins. Falcons are a weird team to me. Obviously, the Steelers are in a weird spot because they were going to start Russell Wilson, but he's injured, and he might not, play today. They might go with Justin Fields, but 4 points. I don't know if the Steelers win the game, but I'll take Steelers +4 in that one. Panthers, Saints minus 3.5. I think the Saints might be the worst team in the NFL. If not them, it's going to be either the Panthers or the Patriots. So them playing the Panthers is crazy. I don't think they're 3.5 points better than anybody. I'm going to take the Panthers. This feels like stupid, but I'm taking the Panthers +3.5 there. Vikings, Giants. Vikings are a 1-point favorite. That says something. That's got to say something to you. If a team who lost their rookie quarterback in preseason for the season and is starting Sam Darnold, who's just been bounced around to every team, is a favorite on the road at the Giants, that tells you a lot about where the Giants are at. You know what? I'm going to zag here. I think the Giants bounce back, find a way to win a game against another team that's not very good. I'm taking the Giants +1. That's crazy. They're a home dog to a team starting Sam Darnold. That tells you what people think of the Giants quarterback, Daniel Jones. Yeesh. All right, before we go to the late slate, a couple of things in the chat. Let's get to that real quick. S. Smith says, sup, back to you. And then Byron Rice says, when is your next Bahia trip? If you're just tuning in for like the National SC or the Titans content, me and Jesta, we do a yearly trip to a Bahia resort where we go down. I try to do like kind of a recap, a kind of more of an informative video series on those just for people that are going to travel and go see those places, to help out people who might want to book a trip there. November, we always go in November. It's our wedding anniversary. We do that for our wedding anniversary every year. So coming up in November, I'll be back in Bahia. I think we're going to Mexico this year. Yeah, Mexico. All right, going to the afternoon slate. We've got Broncos at Seahawks. Seahawks 6.5-point favorite. I'm taking the Seahawks there all day. The Broncos, really weird team. Drafted Bo Nix. Sean Payton seems to be in love with Bo Nix. Bo Nix, after, kind of trailing off at Auburn, bounced back, had a pretty solid few years at Oregon. I don't think anybody really expected him to be a super high draft pick though, except for Sean Payton loves him, but don't see that working out too well, at least from the start. So we're going with Seahawks -6.5. I think they could have a bounce back here. Although I'm kind of I like their coach that they hired. I like who we hired in Brian Callahan. He was probably my second favorite coaching hire of the offseason coaching carousel, but I was glad we went with Brian Callahan because I really felt like the Titans needed to move to the offensive side of the ball with their next head coach, not another defensive coach like McDonald is for Seattle. But I think he's going to hit the ground running pretty well for them. Seahawks -6.5. I'll take that. Raiders, Chargers -3 all day long. Raiders, another team that just looks like it could implode and be a catastrophe very quickly. Although if you've watched the channel for a while, I've never been fully on the Herbert Chargers hype train that's been going on for the last 3 or 4 years. I think Jim Harbaugh will give them a spark, will give them something. They'll be better than they have been. It's hard to be as bad as they were with that idiot Brandon Staley as their coach. So I think they're going to be better. I don't think they're going to be Super Bowl contenders or anything like that. But they're definitely 3 points better than the Raiders for sure in that one. Cowboys, Browns. Browns 2.5-point favorite here. There's a lot I don't like about the Cowboys this season. It's a lot of weirdness. I feel like they should have moved on from Mike McCarthy. Dak Prescott's playing for his next contract, so maybe you're going to see some big stuff out of him this season. They re-upped CeeDee Lamb, but the rest of their skill positions are not great. But I think the Browns are even more of a catastrophe. All their hopes are riding on Deshaun Watson somehow becoming a good quarterback again, which he hasn't been since 2019. I think that's going to go down as one of the worst trades in NFL history, bringing him in. Give me the Cowboys +2.5. Commanders, Buccaneers. A lot of people are leaning on the Commanders here, but I was kind of riding the Bucs all last season. They were kind of a team that I always thought was sneakily better than what people thought they were, and I kind of think they're in the same boat here. With the Commanders, I kind of look at them the same way I'm looking at the Bears, where I think they are going to be better. I think, long run, they're going to be, pretty decent. I think their rookie quarterback's got a chance to be really good in the long run, but first game out of the gates, their defense has a lot of question marks. Bucks, year 2, does, Baker continue to build on kind of his rebirth he had last season? I think so. I don't really like the Bucks head coach. That's been the one thing that really kind of held me back on like being like all in on the Bucks. Is I don't think Todd Bowles is a very good coach. They lost their offensive coordinator. Canales is now the head coach at Carolina. Does that affect them at all? I don't know. These are long-term questions more so than anything. I think this one game. Ooh, more breaking news. Dak Prescott becomes highest paid player in NFL history with 4-year, $240 million contract extension. Wow. Literally, I just said Dak might be putting up big numbers because he's playing for a contract. He's got the contract. I don't know if that changes things, but the news that keeps breaking as I'm trying to go through this list of games is crazy. All right, Bucks -4. That's what we're taking there. Sunday night game, Rams, Lions. Everybody's in love with the Lions after last season. Thinks they just, they're going to the Super Bowl. They're finally good. The old Lions are gone. I'm still looking at them like, all right, Dan Campbell is a guy a couple of seasons back. Everybody was kind of making fun of him, thought he was kind of a meathead, dummy, not like really qualified to be an NFL head coach. A lot of people like comparing him to what Vrabel was, but saying Vrabel was better now. Vrabel's been fired. And also Jared Goff, he's been good since he got to Detroit, but there was a point in time where Sean McVay, who is a very smart coach, looked at him and said, I can't win with this guy. We got to get rid of him, and dumped him. If they were Matt Stafford, they won a Super Bowl right after they did that. I think the Lions are good. I don't fully buy into them and believe in them the way everybody else kind of seems to. So I'm taking the Rams +4.5 in that game. Doubleheader for Monday Night Football. Oh, no, not a doubleheader. Just one game. I thought, don't we usually get like a doubleheader week 1? We don't. Not this year anyway. All right, Jets and 49ers. 49ers -4. A lot of people loving the Jets this year, loving that roster, loving what they could possibly do if Rodgers is healthy. But that's another one where I don't think their coach is very good, Robert Saleh. I've been thinking a lot this offseason that the 49ers might drop off from what we've seen the last few seasons, like a Super Bowl hangover, coming so close so many times. It's got to like kick you back. It's got to knock you down a notch. We've seen the Super Bowl hangover multiple times where the team that loses the Super Bowl falls off the next year. But weirdly, like last week, I've started to like switch my brain around to where I'm like, I kind of believe in the players the 49ers have. I kind of believe in their coach. Maybe they won't be, like 13-4, 14-3, dominant the way they have been the last few seasons, but I do still think I've now come around to think they're going to be very good and very much in the mix. I don't buy the Jets hype. I'm taking 49ers -4. All right, so that gets us all the week 1 games. Let's do a quick rundown, quick recap. I've got Titans +4, Bengals -8, Cardinals +6.5, Dolphins -3.5, Texans -3, Steelers +4, Panthers +3.5, Giants +1, Seahawks -6.5, Chargers -3, Cowboys +2.5, Bucks -4, Rams +4.5, and 49ers -4. 14-pick parlay is plus 914,553. I'm going to bet $1 to win $9,000 on this parlay pick of all 14 picks for NFL Week 1. It'd be pretty nice if this hits, but we'll see. We'll keep track of it, see how it turns out, what the final tally ends up being there. Real quick, I'll just go through kind of general full season thoughts, full season picks and predictions. I'm going to give out my division winners, playoff teams, and I'll also go through just the Titans' full schedule and kind of give you game by game what I think the Titans are going to do. All right, so let's go conferences. Let's start with AFC East. I like Miami. I think they're the most ready to win team there. There's too many question marks with the defense and the outgoing players for Buffalo. Jets, like I said, I just don't buy into the Jets. I think Miami wins that division. I think Buffalo gets a wild card spot, so 2 teams out of that division. North, it's going to be a really interesting division. It's pretty stacked. I like Baltimore to win the division. I'll take Bengals also as a wild card team. I think they get out of that division as well. This is where I get a little crazy. AFC South. I don't want to go with a trend and just pick Houston like everybody else is, but I think they're far enough ahead of the rest of the division that you have to pick them. I don't think they're going to be as good as people think. Like a lot of people predicting them for a Super Bowl. Usually, when you see a team have that big jump, the Lions kind of had this 2 years ago. Like they have a big jump season, a step back season, and then the third season is when they really kind of go good. So I think Houston step back. I mean, they had to win a game at the end of last season to even get in the playoffs to win the division. So it's not like they were like throttling everybody and were electric all season long. So I don't think they'll be as good as people expect them to be this season, but I do think they'll still probably win the division. I'm going to give the Titans that third wild card playoff spot. So famous last words. AFC West, Chiefs. Chiefs, and I'll go ahead and tell you, Chiefs are my Super Bowl pick. I don't know how you pick anything but the Chiefs after what we've seen from them already. How did the NFL allow them to get Xavier Worthy? It's just not fair. It's just not fair. Moving to the NFC, starting with the NFC East, I think Philadelphia comes out of that division. I think they're going to bounce back this year. I think, last year they had a bit of the Super Bowl hangover. I think they've sorted some things out, both with like personnel on the field and personnel on the coaching staff. So I'd expect them to bounce back and be like in the mix for being the top team in the NFC. I don't have anybody else in that division making the playoffs. Dallas, I got too many question marks about them to really get behind them this season. Philly wins the division, makes the playoffs. NFC North, this one's in flux because with the injury to Jordan Love, Green Bay is suddenly staring down the barrel of Malik freaking Willis being their starting quarterback. Oh my days. Like, who was their backup during the preseason before they traded for Malik Willis that somehow Malik Willis was the best option for them? NFC's so weird. Everybody's so like mid in the NFC. I'm having a hard time like finding my wild card teams from the NFC. I'm going to go Detroit to win the division. Like I said, I'm not as high on them as a lot of people, but I think they're still, especially with the injury to Jordan Love, probably the best team in that division. Bears maybe a wild card. I don't think I'm going to have the Bears as wild card. I think I'm only going to have the Lions coming out of that division. NFC South, I got Bucks winning the division. Like I said, I'm not as high on Atlanta as a lot of people are. I think New Orleans and Carolina are both terrible. So I'm going to say Bucks win the division. I can't find wild card teams. I don't want to take Atlanta to be a wild card team. I'm like not sold on them. I'll give the Bears a wild card spot. Okay, so we're going Bears wild card as our first NFC wild card. Eagles East champions, Lions North champions, Bucks South champions, Bears wild card. NFC West, I'm going to say the 49ers. Like I said, I was kind of like expecting a hangover for them for a long time, but now I'm kind of switched back to thinking I think they'll overcome it. I think they'll be fine. And then I'll go Rams and Seahawks as the other two wild cards. So we're getting 3 teams out of the NFC West into the playoffs. I think I'm going to go Eagles. I'm going to go Eagles out of the NFC, but I think they ultimately lose to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. If Jordan Love comes back sooner than expected, I will maybe shift a little bit on that because I do like Green Bay, but him being injured and them potentially having to play Malik Willis is catastrophe. A lot of rumblings, could Ryan Tannehill be in? It should be hilarious if they end up with like either version of a former Titans quarterback trying to salvage their season. Tannehill certainly would be a better option than Malik Willis, I think. Something to watch. All right, let's go through the Titans full season. This will be the last thing we do for this one. Game by game, could give you my prediction for every single game this season. Starting with the Bears, I already said I think Titans win this one. I think we start out 1-0 there. Jets come to town. Maybe I'm crazy for this, but like I said, I'm not sold on the Jets. I'm not sold on what they've done. I'm not sold on Aaron Rodgers being able to bounce back. I'm not sold on their coach. I think the Titans beat the Jets. Week 3, Packers come to Nashville. Very different looking game now with Jordan Love being out injured. If it's Malik Willis at quarterback, Titans hands down. If they go get Ryan Tannehill or trade for some other quarterback or something, maybe I still could give the Packers a chance there. But all I can operate is on the knowledge we have right now. And as of right now, Malik Willis is going to be the starting quarterback for the Packers in that game. So I have to take the Titans. Titans 3-0 to start the season. That does not seem possible. Ugh. Dolphins, week 4 or 4th game of the season. I don't know if that's week 4. Where's the bye? I don't know when we hit a bye, but I think it's the byes after that game. Oh, that's a super early bye. That's not great. Monday Night Football. Last year, we went down there, had a crazy comeback to beat them on Monday Night Football. Kind of like the highlight of the season, really, that game, just about that of the Falcons game last year. I think they're going to be really good this year. I think the Dolphins are going to be one of the better teams in the AFC. I think they're going to be more ready for the Titans than maybe they were. Maybe they were a little overlooking us a little bit in that game. I'll give the Dolphins the win there. So Titans move to 3-1. Colts come to Nashville next game. Titans, I'm taking the Titans in that game. Like I said, I'm not sold on Anthony Richardson at all. Titans move to 4-1. Titans go to Buffalo. They've kind of had our number. Like I said, I think they're going to take a step back this season, but they've really had our number the last few seasons. Going up there, late October, weather could be starting to not be a great situation. I'll give the Bills that, so that moves the Titans to 4-2. Titans at the Lions. Another team I said I wasn't that high on, but I do think they're going to be a little bit ahead of the curve from where the Titans are going to be this season, so I'll give the Lions the win there. 4-3. Next week, the Patriots come to Tennessee. Got to be a win. If we lose that game, something's gone terribly wrong this season, so that moves us to 5-3. Next week, we go to the Chargers. Like I said in the past, I'm not that high on the Chargers. I don't like them that much. I think they're going to be a lot better. I think Jim Harbaugh is going to get a lot more out of them than what Brandon Staley did, but this is a homer pick more than anything. I'm taking the Titans in that one. 6-3. Vikings come to Nashville. I don't think they're going to be very good this year. They lost their quarterback. They're kind of in transition this year, though we kind of are too, but I'm liking the Titans. I hate doing this because there's no way we're going to be 7-3. But I'm taking the Titans over the Vikings to move to 7-3. Go to the Texans, November 24th. Give the Texans a win there. Titans go to where I'm at now, 7-4. Jaguars come to Nashville. Titans win 8-4. Bengals come to Nashville. They've definitely had our number. Like, I'm not ready to pick against them. It'd be an interesting matchup though, because we've got, Brian Callahan came over from the Bengals. What is he able to bring in terms of inside knowledge? But I like the Bengals a lot this year. I think they're going to be one of the better teams in the AFC. I think they get a win there. So that's 7-5. Titans go to the Colts. I think we beat them again. Probably not. 8-5. Go to the Jaguars, beat them again. 9-5. I think I've lost a game here somewhere. Texans come to Tennessee. I'll give the Texans a sweep this year. I think they're ahead of us to the point that I don't expect us to get a win there. So that would be, let's see, 9. Let me go through this. Okay. Let's count the wins. Bears, Jets, Packers, Colts, Patriots. Got my fingers like a child. Chargers, Vikings. Oh, I missed the Commanders game. I'll give us a win there. Commanders, Jaguars, Colts, Jaguars. I have the Titans as an 11-win team. That's not possible. That's not going to happen. There's no way that actually happens this season. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I was talking about at the start of the video. This is the time of year where anything is possible. Hopes are way too high. Belief is way too high. I somehow think the Titans are going to go 11-6, 11-7. What? God. Oh, well, we are just a little over 2 hours away from those hopes being completely dashed when the Titans take the field to take on the Chicago Bears. I'm going to enjoy the ride while it lasts. I'm going to be excited while I can until my hopes and dreams come crashing down. 2 straight home games coming up after this one. Trip to Chicago. Got the Jets coming to town next Sunday and the Packers coming to town the following Sunday. If things go the way they should, I should be at both of those games. So you should expect, live game day vlogs following those games. It's going to be an interesting season at Nissan Stadium with the, parking lot being gutted and the new Nissan Stadium being under construction. They're actually doing a watch party at the stadium today. They've never done that before. And my theory is they're doing that much like they did like the open practice at the stadium this season to kind of be able to do some lighter test runs to like make sure operations can figure out how to work around the disaster that the lack of parking is going to be the next couple of years while the biggest parking lot that Nissan Stadium had has been demolished and is the building point for the new Nissan Stadium. So I thought about going to the watch party, but like after the experience I had going to the open practice Not really interested in going down there without a parking pass. I've got parking pass for all the games this season, so games won't be a problem. Like home games won't be a problem, but like kind of driving down there blind with no real plan for parking doesn't seem like a good choice this season. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel with the bell turned on for notifications so you get alerted when game day vlogs go live, when live streams are happening, so you never miss any of these. Like I said, I'm gonna try to keep these going more consistently with the live streams, either Saturday, Sunday, probably gonna be weekend type stuff. Titans ramping up, giving picks and predictions out for that, and then obviously, we've got a little bit of, unfortunately, Nashville SC left to go this season. As Byron asked about in the chat, the Bahia trip coming up in November. There'll be vlogs from that. A lot of good stuff will be coming to the channel, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss anything. Thank you for watching. Tighten up. I'm switching to depression mode. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your bagels.